You see, orientation is locked. Rotate divide. Okay, we are live. Looks like we are live. I'm a little bit late. Soldier of self mastery here, philosopher of everyday victorious living. As I stated some time ago, that I was going to start doing more live sessions. Um, I'm kind of cleaning my glasses here so that I can see better. Unfortunately, I get my eyes begin to burn up a little bit if I don't have my glasses on, so I apologize for that. By the way, I see someone joined. This is going to be a live interaction. Santos Rolon Jr. here, Stockton, California, and we're gonna be addressing three things here today. But I really want to get some some feedback. Three life hacks, trading habits. Three life hacks that have literally transformed my way of thinking. I'll talk a little bit about that possibly. Are you interested in trading your habits? What if there's a way to trade your habit like an old clunky junky car that has problems, doesn't run very well on life's road, on life's journey called on life's road called life's journey. Interesting. Anyways, um, if you would like to introduce yourself, I'm going to be here for just a short while today. Not going to be here very long because I'm working on a book and I'm trying to finish that book up today. So let's see if we can get some audience going on here. If not, I had somebody say, "Well, Santos, you need to schedule." I'm kind of promoting my live sessions so that I can connect with gamblers and people that are wanting to overcome and break through in their lives. Right? Isn't that the key? That's the key, my friend. Anyways, I'm waiting on somebody to introduce themselves. I can sit here talk and talk and talk, and I do that all the time. But I want to learn from you. Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I made my glasses a little bit worse now. So, anyways, I'm gonna share. Hey, Ernst. There you go. Good to see you, man. We have somebody that identified. We've got four people. Wow. I hope the numbers climb. What are we talking about here? We're talking about addictions. We're talking about gambling. We're talking about living, changing your mindset. You know what I mean? It's very late, so I don't make it too long. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's fine. But you're here. Cosmo in Buffalo, New York, fighting the good fight against gambling. That's what we're going to talk about here in a little bit. I'm just waiting for some questions. Wow, it's late. The Netherlands. Um, the Netherlands or Ireland. It's been a while. I've done my brains in again. I don't. I don't know what that means. If you wanna, let me see here. What does that mean? Let me see. I done my brains in again. Nope, the cow. Hope I got that right. The Netherlands, my friend. Yes, I've been doing a lot of writing, racking my brain. So um, I'm not I'm not thinking like I used to think. Maybe. So okay. Hope your day was great, just as you are, man. Super fantastic, terrific, over the top. I'm just trying to get my glasses cleaned up because if I don't, my eyes will begin to bother me here. And they're just a little bit, well, we'll use them like this. So I see some people dropped off the cliff, and I've opened up this live session on, let me see, I'm going to be doing it Sundays, and I'm going to be probably doing it during the week. Um, haven't really figured out my schedule, but I've been working on my book. I want to get that completed. And I haven't been making a whole lot of videos because I'm going live. I'm doing more live sessions. I want to be able to interact with those of you that are out there. You know, you've got questions, you've got thoughts, um, you've got things that you're going through that maybe you just want to ask a question, and I'm here to help you find the answer for yourself, because ultimately you have the answer. The answer lies within you, my friend. I just help bring it to the surface. So, but I will talk about 3 life hacks a little bit. I'm not going to get really deep into this. Um, the power of self-talk, positive self-talk, uh, mirror talks. And the third one, I would say probably a recorded version of affirmations. Um, that's where you actually record your own voice in a future state of where you want to see and how you want to see yourself, and you listen to it. There's 2 certain times that I recommend listening to recorded stuff, or even watching videos. Is actually in the morning, and in the morning before, upon rising, and at nighttime before going to bed. Um, I have gone back to it a couple times in the last few days. The urge to gamble, great tool in your fight against the big gambling lie. Well, you know what, Cosmo? Thank you for your purchase. But here's the thing, that book that you picked up is going to be completely redone. In fact, I have it almost completely redone. It's going to be a really good version. It needed some extra work. I had somebody work on it for me, do some editing and proofreading, and then when I realized the finished product is just not where I wanted it, so it's a whole new book. It's going to be a complete better version. So I believe you might even be able to get that copy free if you've already paid for the old one. But hope your day was just as great. Yeah, I'm in Stockton, California. I'm going to be doing these live sessions. If I can get more feedback from people, letting me know when would be the best times to do this, so that we can interact. I don't want to just run my mouth. You know what I mean? Thank you, guys. Santos is the real deal. Well, you know, I'm in the trenches with you, and I'm here. I'm working on a movement. I'm working on a movement to help transform people's lives. Doesn't matter where you're at in life. Doesn't matter whether you're a construction worker. Doesn't matter whether you're a writer or you're a business owner. It doesn't matter whether you're a homebody, a housewife, or maybe you're a coach or a counselor or you're a doctor. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I have to say, you really pointed me in the right direction. Without your motivation and without your sharing knowledge, I didn't know where I was now, but because I had a fear rule of my choices. Yeah. I appreciate you saying that, man. You know, we all have our problems. We all have our challenges. Um, but when we unite and we plug into something that's bigger than ourselves, it energizes us. It helps us dream again. It helps us revive something that is going to help us be patient. Something that's going to help us make better decisions when we're being tested, not just by circumstance, but by people. Because people can really push us, man, and the mind can really it always wants to look for that easy escape, right? It doesn't work out, man. So 3 life hacks, as I mentioned earlier. I'm kind of waiting for some questions. If not, I'm going to share just a little bit. how I've been able to use some of these life hacks to change my life. And, my mission is big. I want to help people all around the world. And I've had to learn how to put my own mask on, the oxygen mask. If you've ever been on an airplane, pay attention to what the stewardess are doing, right? You're on an airplane, you definitely want to pay attention. Sometimes I'll look around the airplane and I'll see people's minds like they're not even really paying attention to the information. The some of the most important instructions that you'll ever hear before a plane goes in the air. People aren't paying attention. I do. So if if you don't put your mask on, if cabin pressure drops and you can't breathe properly, effectively, that mask is going to drop down. If you can't put it on yourself first, they say don't try to help somebody else. And I was just thinking, why is that? Why? Well, think about it. If you don't put that mask on yourself, you could die in the process of trying to help somebody else. If they don't get it, that's two people. If you put it on, well, generally you'll be able to help another person. So you might be able to save your own life and the life of another person, right? Or it could go either. It can go the opposite way, where you basically lose both lives because it wasn't done effectively. Um, Life hacks. One of the biggest things that I kind of enjoy doing is positive self talk. Where did I pick that up? Where did I pick up positive self talk? Probably, I don't know, somewhere along the line. Also, reading the scriptures. There's a verse from the Bible that I use as an affirmation. Actually, there's a couple of them, but one that really stands out is this, that death and life are in the power of the tongue. This is Proverbs 18, verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. They that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So, if you don't put a guard on what you say to yourself or to somebody else, that could be very, very destructive. It could be very devastating. And we do it to ourselves. We don't, never mind somebody else doing it to us. Positive self talk. I mean, I work on myself all the time. I talk to myself as much as possible. I encourage myself. I motivate myself. I tell myself who I'm going to become. And I remind myself that I'm in control, that I have the choices, that I'm in control because of God's grace. Um, Anyways, here, let me go back to, looks like I got a question. What did I get here? I have to say, I appreciate you, Ernst. Sylvia, welcome. Let me see here. Three therapies were all based on the 12 steps. Something doesn't click with me with that method. I know I have a gambling problem, but I don't like to label myself. Okay, I can address that. There's a lot of good within 12 steps, but well, you see, Sylvia, thank you for that question. Man, that's powerful. What do I mean by labeling? I know that we all carry labels, right? If we really sit down with a piece of paper and write down, or we pay attention to what we're doing to ourselves, we can figure out that we're actually calling ourselves, we're labeling ourselves. Now, we're going to do that. That's just part of life. It's kind of maybe a mystery. But I say, if you're going to label yourself, why not look for good labels? I mean, one of my labels is I consider myself a soldier of self mastery. Honestly, I didn't feel it when I started saying it. I didn't feel it. In fact, I kind of felt like I felt strange, right? Here I am coming from a broken background with all kinds of problems, and now I'm referring to myself as a soldier of self mastery. Well, I came to the realization that whatever you focus on, you tend to become that person. And if you want to become a person of breakthrough, you want to become a person that is not entangled, you're not being held down by your habits. You have to call yourself that person. You have to see that person. You have to visualize that person in your mind's eye in order to become. And, of course, you do that through positive self talk, you do it through reading, you do it through affirmations, through journaling, watching videos, attending a school class, a seminar class of some kind, coaching, personal coaching where you meet with one person one on one. You want to be, you want to end up where someone that's already achieved it is there. That's where we want to be, right? And you can do that through books, you can do that through your own writings. I'm telling you, my friend, if you get something here that your own speech and your own writing, it's a gift to you. It'll transform you big time if you use it effectively. Gambler is a behavior. It's not identity. So I am a woman with a gambling issue. I am not just a gambler, right? Well, here's what, does this sound right? I know right now it's like it's hard for some people to forgive themselves. You do wrong. It's hard for you to look in the mirror, to look into your own eyes in the mirror and say, you know what, I forgive you for what you just did. That's hard. For some people, they don't do it. It's it's possible to do it. I do it all the time, right? I'm like a what is it? Transparent. I tell it like it is. You know. Do I struggle with temptation? Do I struggle with triggers? Do these things hit me hard at times? Of course they do. But I've learned to, like I say this over and over. I've learned not to brain my train. I've learned to train my brain. So I spend a lot of time in self-empowerment, understanding that the mind is going to give you results if you put the right information into it. Your mind will do that. So let me see here. I've got, yeah, therapies. I've tried the Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't think I tried Gamblers Anonymous, but I did go to AA. I remember that. I don't know if it was the Navy that wanted me to do those classes. Somebody did, but I remember going to the meetings. And yeah, you stand up, you give your name, and I'm so and so. Today, if I was to go to an AA meeting, I would probably get kicked out because I would stand up and say, "My name is Santos Rolon Jr. I'm a philosopher of everyday victorious living. I'm a soldier of self mastery." I'm sure they're gonna look at this guy, man. He's like a square peg in a round hole. Uh, it's hard. They are exactly the same, Santos. You know, I would probably be kicked out because I don't agree. I don't agree with the way that a lot of people do things to get help. I just have my own way of life hacking. I call it life hacking. That's what's going to be in my book. We're going to talk about that. Life hacking your way through addictions and habits. The Little Red Book. Anyways, it is going to be revived. We're going to get that on there possibly this week. And I'm also working on something else to help people. The Breakthrough Academy. My business partner and I are working on a series of videos and courses that will be out soon. So, the key to this thing is basically really to make a decision, a solid decision. Um, if we keep saying it's hard, if we keep saying that something is hard, guess what? I'm going to see if somebody comes up with the answer. If you keep saying, if you keep thinking that something is hard, because that's what we've been taught, right? What's that going to do for you? It's definitely not going to make your choice easier. Yeah, of course. Well, the way I look at it is life is not meant to be easy, number one. Life is meant to be enjoyed once you've done your homework. So once you get momentum, like they say, a body in motion stays in. That's right. That's the key, is to get yourself moving a little bit. You know, just get yourself moving a little bit. If you have desire and you're watching videos, take that to another level. Start taking notes. Keep a journal. Start looking at your life. Let your mind give you ideas. But self talk is going to be a big time. You know, like I said, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. They that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Man, I got to remind myself of that one every single day, because I may be a little bit more further than some of you out there in the world, but I'll tell you one thing, it's a everyday work, even on myself, because sometimes things slip out and I catch myself. No, that's not what I want to say, though. That's not what I want to think, because we're planting seeds, you know. And the 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 greater that you become with your own self talk, just that one life hack alone has the potential to transform your life and people around you. You add to that reading or journaling or using your mind to visualize where you want to be. We use it, you know, you may not sit down 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, a couple times a week. You may not physically um, think that you're doing it, but you are. You are. You're daydreaming by default. You're thinking about things. And sometimes we get thoughts, and it's like, man, where the heck did that thing come from? You want to get rid of that one quick. You know? I tell you, there's some times where thoughts come, and I'm like, where did that come from? I'm like, I don't want to. I don't even want that thing in my head. You got to distract it somehow. Um, so I talked a little bit about, and then mirror talks. How do mirror talks work? Where you can actually get in front of the mirror and talk to yourself. Um, Mel Robbins on TED Talks, she says that motivation is bullshit. I kind of believe that to a certain degree, because if it doesn't move you to inspire yourself, then it's not going to help you. So she says that you have to just do it. This is Mel Robbins, and I'm quoting some of her. Um, the bad feelings, the bad feelings of certain behavior that we don't about ourselves create most experiences more bad feelings. Yeah, it's just creating momentum. Yep. A body in motion stays in motion. A mind in motion stays in motion. A positive self-talk in motion will hopefully will tend to stay in motion, right? That's what we want. We talk about trading our habits, trading our addictions, like an old jalopy, like an old car that doesn't run well anymore. It's it's not good. It's a no good car, and you want to trade it in for something new, something that has a little bit better mileage, better creature comforts, right? Something that you know is going to get you to where you want to be. Results. We're after results, my friends. So, if you could trade two habits right now, if you could trade two habits right now, what would those habits be? And would you trade? Would you trade those two habits? I'll let you be the decider there. So, um, I talk about something in my book. I'm going to share this here. Get in front of the mirror at midnight, at 1 or 2 in the morning, where it's completely quiet and dark. Nobody's around but you, and maybe just a little bit of light. And get in front of that mirror and start talking to yourself. It's an amazing experience. Amazing things begin to happen. The best conversations that you will ever have, my friend, will be with yourself. if you know how to do it. Um, you just got to be completely open. You got to know what you want, where you're headed, and how to get there. You got to have a plan. Definitely got to have a plan. So we're live. We've been here. Wow, we have been here 25 minutes already, and we've got some joinees. I thank you guys. You know, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. I would not be here. In fact, if it wasn't for many of you that follow me on YouTube, I probably would not have made the progress that I have. That's why I'm always willing to share and get it out there, get my energy out there for people to realize that you can do it. You can be whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. If your mind can come up with the idea and you can put it on paper, you can plan it out, my friend. You can definitely plan it out. I don't care what kind of an addiction you have. It doesn't matter what it is. Overeating, too much TV, drugs, gambling, drinking, anger. You can overcome it all, my friend. You can. It starts out with a anchored decision, right? An anchored decision, a line drawn in the cement, not in the sand. So, anyways, I got a few people here. If you want to identify yourself, you got a question. It's a symptom, not a cause. Yeah, there's always a root. Yeah, there's a root there. You know, there's a root to every tree. If it, especially if it's a big tree, you notice huge trees. When we've seen them pull out of the ground, they have a huge root, and that's how our lives are. Sometimes we don't realize how big that root is, and that's where we got to get to. that's that's painful, man. I'm sure that if a large tree could yell, maybe it would be heard around the world when they're being pulled up from the roots. I don't know. That's my imagination. Yeah, finding the root takes time, but needs to be done. Yeah, well, if you ask yourself the right questions, that's the key, right? Ask. Let me see. Ask, knock, or ask, seek, and knock. Ask, and you shall receive. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door shall be opened unto you. Everything's a process. But the faster way to do things are by shortcuts, right? Positive, good shortcuts. In other words, if, here's a good analogy. Say you're climbing a mountain, right? You're climbing this huge mountain. If you've never done it before, but there's a guy or a girl that has done it, I think you're probably going to lean towards listening to that individual or maybe even following in his footsteps if he's already climbed that mountain, right? I mean, that makes sense. I see 8 people. Wow, you know what? I'm really impressed. I didn't think that I was going to start getting these many joinees, and I can see that we're kind of getting around. Well, this video is live right now, so anybody from around the world can see it, can ask me questions, can challenge me, you know. I'm just a servant, man. I'm a friend. I'm a freedom fighter. I'm a soldier. I'm an overcomer. I've learned to forgive myself. I've learned to love myself, and I'm not ashamed to say that. There was a time in my life where I was too proud. I didn't even know about these things, so I didn't do them. So now I've done them. I still do them, and I share them with people because your freedom is important. So your freedom is important. I wish I could wave my cloth here and get freedom for everybody, but it doesn't work, man. I have to stay in the trenches myself and go up to the mountaintop and go down to the valley, go up and down. But it gets more comfortable, my friends, and that's the key. It gets more comfortable. That is the okay. Do I have any chats? Let me see. Loving yourself is the hardest thing to do. Well, again, see, Sylvia, here's one thing we're talking about. We're talking about positive self-talk. If we don't if we don't become consciously aware of what we're saying to ourselves, we're planting seeds. Remember earlier I said death and life are in the power of the tongue? We have to really start catching ourselves. I have to do this to myself. Sometimes I'm saying something and I have to literally stop even in front of people and tell myself, no, that's not what I want to say. So it's kind of a work in practice. It's something that we have to do. Your speech is very valuable to your growth. Your speech is very valuable to your breakthrough. If we keep saying the same things over and over, it's like playing a record. We're playing a we're playing a record, and that record is not serving us. If it's not allowing you to progress, if it's holding you back in some way, right? It doesn't have to be a record that's playing. It could be a movie. We all have something in our mind, a vision of some sort. We have this vision that we focus on every single day. And that vision is basically it translates into our lifestyle. So if we don't like our lifestyle, we need to transform the vision. We need to change the movie. We need to somehow we need to scratch that record enough so that we can put a new record in there, and that the mind, the needle of the mind, begins to play the new record. That's where I find. Somebody asked me the other day, "What addictions have you traded?" We talked about trading in your habits, your addictions. Well, I've traded a certain lifestyle for a lifestyle of self-empowerment. And within that self-empowerment arena, there's a lot of little things that I call them fun life hacks. I call them exercises. I call them tools. I call them fun things. I know I could say, well, some of these things are the hardest things to do, right? I can call them tasks. I can call them working hard. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to basically label those things that are going to help me take advantage of them. Just like when you label yourself. If you label yourself a smoker, then you're a smoker. You're going to continue to smoke, right? You're going to that's going to be part of your lifestyle if you refer to yourself as that type of a person. I'm an angry person. Okay, well then you're gonna be angry. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. You're gonna drink. You're gonna drink all the time. That's because that's the vision that you have. So change that. That's what I did. I got in front of the mirror and I literally started changing all of it. I just took control, man. I was sick and tired, plain sick and tired, and too much pain, and all that stuff that goes along with it. I just got, it became bullshit. I don't like to curse, but energies on the planet are changing. We are caused to higher conscious, better of self. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Sylvia. Thank you for interacting. I mean, I know I'd like to see some other questions in here. I appreciate you, Sylvia. We evolve. We're either evolving. This is another thing that I think about all the time. We live in a hypnotic state. We do. We are hypnotizing ourselves on a daily basis. Are we aware of that? Yeah. The Bible, for me, one of them is the Bible. Here's another book that I've been studying. This guy's Dean Graziosi, man. I'm gonna put his picture here because you've probably seen him in the commercials. So, I use flashcards. I talked about this in one of my other feeds. Flashcards, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes to. Here's one I wrote, 610. If you feel pressure, ask, is it good for me? Is it bad for me? Collect your answer or record your answer and proceed from there. So these are the things that are going to help all of us. How to really study a book perfect. I must read it once, twice, and forget a lot of stuff, what was in it. You got to write notes. You, you have to write notes. When I read, that's what I do. I just I just take notes. I take a lot of notes um, when I'm reading because again, you get ideas. I got a lot of ideas from Dean's book, a lot of great things. In fact, when I started reading his book, I'm like, man, this guy's just like me. He kind of thinks along the same lines as I do with some of his strategies, and he's got life hacks in that book too. The only difference between this one and mine is this one's a lot thicker. It takes a lot longer to read, but it is a good book because it has a lot of exercises and tools and stuff in it. So that's just a recommendation. But personally, if you don't want to read for now, I wasn't a reader. I hated reading. I did not want to read, to be honest with you. In fact, I'm reading more these days because I'm writing more. If I'm writing a book, and again, I was not, I remember when I started thinking about, my business partner said, or somebody told me that I should write a book. And I've been journaling. I've always written on stuff, but I never sat down to concentrate and put my thoughts on paper. And now I enjoy doing it, man, but it takes so much time. And then you got to get a proofreader and all this other stuff. So I just keep doing it because I know it's going to be valuable material that I can share with other people. So I'll tell you, I'm extremely grateful. I'm going to be cutting down here on this live session. I'm going to be cutting down because I've had some great questions from you guys, and I can see the numbers dropping a little bit, and that's fine. Even if I reach one person that can say, "Wow, you helped me think today. You you actually helped me come up with an idea that I came up with. You know, you came up with simply just by hearing a little bit of my testimony and me share about 3 life hacks. And I didn't really talk too much on this third one, but I'm going to share a little bit here. If you record your voice, if you record your voice talking to yourself in a future state, um, talking as if you're already that person that you would love to be, whatever it may be. Maybe you want to be more patient. Maybe you want to be more kind to your children. Maybe you want to be a person that really listens to another individual. Um, whatever it may be, that it is that you want, you got to plant that seed. You record that in a little device and then you listen to it. I remember I used to call myself a leader. I used to call myself great. I was a great listener. I am powerful and I am smart. All the opposite of everything that I was ever thinking of myself. It was kind of strange, but I would record that. I'd listen to it in the mornings, at night before I go to bed. If I'm driving, when I'm working, I remember I had a job where I was doing a lot of commuting, a lot of driving too. I was running a crew of 18. But anyways, the point in all of this is to get these things working, right? Create momentum. It's going to get you away. It's your trading habits. You're trading your habit. You're trading your addictions, whatever it may be, from overeating to thinking wrong to being negative to not seeing the glass half full every time or overflowing. You retrain your brain. So that's the third one that I use, because your own voice is going to really move you versus listening to other people. I mean, I love people listening to me, but ultimately your voice is going to move you a lot better and a lot faster than I can. That's a secret, my friend. So that's why I tell people, talk to yourself. Use the mirror talks. Yeah, it feels awkward. It feels funny. It feels weird. But do it, man. You're going to benefit. The results are going to be really cool. You're going to benefit from that. So let me see. I'm a helper too. Feeds my soul. Yeah. Yep. Pretty good. Hey, I'm thinking more as well too, Ernst. As I listen to your questions and I see the comments, you guys are helping me. You know, you guys are helping me become, well, you're helping me become a better host, that's for sure. I'd love to see if we can fill the room. These videos will go around the world, people that are struggling. I know I get comments, I get emails from many parts of the world, and so I'm humbled by some of those places that I get emails from, and I'm thinking, wow, they gamble there, they have problems there. It's all over. It's all over. But the root, right? The root. You have the power of choice. Okay? You have the power of choice, my friend. You can choose. You can choose to speak positive. You can choose to listen. You can choose to exercise your patience. You can choose to want to read even if you don't feel like it. You can choose to do exercises. You can choose to drink plenty of healthy water, which helps big time. All of this stuff is going to be in my new book. So I'm encouraging everybody to get a copy and buy an extra copy and send it. It's very affordable. Once it gets back on Amazon, I'll be promoting and talking about that more. Um, so if there are any more questions, I think I'm going to end this session. I got to go visit the old folks home. I got to go spend some time with some of the my older friends, my 80s and 90-year-olds friends. When I saw everything, I didn't feel shame anymore. I could do anything without feeling strange. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, we're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna say the wrong thing. We're gonna. Have you ever fallen in front of people out in public? that's a pretty that's a pretty neat experience, huh? You're just walking along, whatever, doesn't matter the mood you're in, and you trip and fall in front of people, right? You get up immediately and you go forward. You don't stay there. Yeah, yeah. It just felt good as I know it was good. Yeah. We all we all have these things. We all have these things that we can overcome. We just need a little bit of a boost. So I'll see you guys. Thank you for joining me once again, live, Santos Jr. Actually, Soldier of Self Mastery live here, live TV on YouTube. We're going to reach some people, man. We're going to reach out to more people. We're going to be live again this week, maybe Friday night. It could be Friday. If I get enough feedback, if people tell me, hey, in the comments, when would be the best times, I could set up two sessions, and just come on live and we can talk about things. We can talk about my journal. We can talk about my book. We can talk about my T-shirts. If you want a Soldiers of Self Mastery T-shirt, we could talk about that. And the book's gonna be cool. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you on the next one. And remember to make every single day a super fantastic, terrific, over the top day, daily, in spite of and because of. Because you can. It is possible. 209. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys. Peace.